Ravioli.
Bright Memory Infinite. Oh good, you're back. It just does that sometimes when I say the I word. But anyways, Bright Memory is a game that really knows its target audience.
Just gotta find something to wear. Alright, perfect.
People who really like action games.
Oh, fuck.
Bright Memory Infinite. Oh, good. You're still here. Is the full release of Bright Memory, a demo-like sort of game that came out back in 2020. When I say demo though, it was more like a showcase of the mechanics and gameplay that would carry over into Bright Memory Infinite. I really need to stop saying that. I've already covered Bright Memory before, and we're finally here at the release of the latest installment of Bright Memory. So first I picked my difficulty. Of course I chose Violent because I am absolutely used to FPS games. Victory! Then we find out from the news that a storm's a brewin'. Shelia answers her literal piece of glass.
It's just glass.
And uses exit B from her home. Then it's Star Wars. Shelia crashes into a mountain, shoots some goons, and dies multiple times while I struggle with the controls. Admittedly, the first few moments of the game are nowhere near as nuts as the original Bright Memory, but a huge reason for that is that Infinite is a lot more put together. It seems like there are far less borrowed assets and everything feels a little more cohesive. I mean, the OG had chimeras, zombies, flying serpents, and Dark Souls bosses. It was kind of all over the place, but Infinite stays consistent with ancient Chinese-inspired enemies and these Halo-looking-ass soldier types. Seriously, the combat in this game is balls to the wall. You can shoot, slice, push, pull, rocket punch, sword beam, fist slam, sword slam, dodge, slide, double jump, parry, and shoot a poor sucker in the face while he helplessly floats in the air. There is tons going on during combat, and it is just beyond fun. The sword, EMP skill, and gunplay seem like it might be a little bit overkill, but with cooldown systems and lots of enemies, it makes for a hectic and challenging experience. Like, you'd think you could just hack and shoot away, but with all those cooldowns and reloading your weapons and hitting every wrong key on your keyboard, you do actually gotta be paying attention to what you're doing as well as constantly dodging so you don't just get mowed down. There's also an innate urge to do cool-ass combos rather than simply dispatching your enemies, so it's infinitely satisfying. So it's incredibly satisfying when you pull off a cool combo. The dev did a great job making it all work together and feel good, especially when compared to the original, which had these weird triple button press attacks. It was just kind of all over the place. I personally had a pretty hard time with the keyboard controls, hence the easy difficulty. I'm just all thumbs when it comes to fast-paced keyboard controls, but switching to my Xbox controller really cemented how good all these moves feel when used together properly. I only wish I could have changed the parry from the right bumper to the Y button instead. I kept trying to attack with my sword using the bumper and instead kept Dark Souls taunting my enemies. The game isn't without its bugs, most notably one that causes the game to crash, but other than that, I only had random little issues and nothing really all that major. But anyways, back to the story, or rather the paper-thin excuse of a plot designed specifically as a vehicle to make an action game. I mean, all I could really put together is that you play as Shelia, some sort of special agent, there's some bad guys trying to get to a black hole for some reason, and sometimes you have to fight ancient Chinese soldiers. Just like the original, I went in just as confused as I came out, but regardless, the main goal is to head towards the black hole. This involves a lot of shooting bad guys, minor platforming, and a whole ass boss fight with this flaming Chinese emperor. I never knew I craved high action FPS boss battle gameplay until I played the original Bright Memory, and Infinite definitely delivered. So we beat the Emperor, grapple across this huge gap to a mountain, my arm fell off, and then after a loading screen, we're left without the use of our exo gear. We're instructed to find something to defend ourselves with and find the biggest butcher's knife known to man. Can we just There we go, much better. We then stealth kill some dudes, murder actual Pumbaa from the Lion King, and his brother, and his sister, and dad, and mom, and grandpa, and uncle, but he kinda deserved it. And then we get a cool boss fight. I feel like I need to reiterate this. One guy made this game. One. I can barely even tie my shoes. Alright, rabbit ears through the hole, and boom. Speaking of visuals, now that I think of it, they took out the annoyingly blinding screen transition from the first game. I don't think I've seen it happen yet. Never mind, I take that back. So anyways, after shooting this giant repeatedly in the dick, we meet the antagonist of the game. This guy. You can tell he's bad because he does the same thing the bad guy from Death Stranding does. After driving for 30 seconds, flipping my car, restarting the checkpoint, and re-murdering Pumbaa and all of his extended family, we drive off a cliff, eject out of the car, grapple onto the wing of a plane that's getting sucked into the black hole, and then proceed to mow down more enemies on the wing. I don't care how unrealistic this might be, it's awesome. Awesome just kind of describes everything that Bright Memory does best. As much as I'd like to know what's actually going on plot-wise, I'm super happy just playing the game because it's so cool. Just about everything is better in Bright Memory Infinite compared to the original. It's prettier, the designs are cohesive, the animations are smoother. Except for that one. My only real complaint is that it's too short. It takes about 2 hours to complete, just over twice the length of the original, so I can only hope that they add more chapters or DLC or something. There is at least a couple unlockable weapon and character skins to encourage a second playthrough, and honestly, it's fun enough to play through a few times anyways. But it would just be criminal if this was the end for Bright Memory. Besides, I need more footage for my Pro Snipes montage. So this time around I got an end score of startling, so beat that, you hosers.